All right, welcome everyone. Welcome. I am so excited to be here today. Oh, I have so much to tell you, and I know we're not going to get through near enough stuff today, which is okay because you're going to get exactly what you need. And I promise to be light. I promise to be full of cheer and joy. I know we're all going through some really tough times right now, and we need to, number one, come together. But number two, keep that vibration high and stay positive. So this is in no regard a doom and gloom. This is happy, happy, um, happy and joyful time. And I'm just checking. Somebody must have, oh, there we go. Okay. So I've got the waiting room and I'm adding people as they come in a little bit late, which is fine. Just make sure to mute yourself, everyone. Thanks for being patient with that. New security. You can only begin to imagine the millions of people that are suddenly online, and everyone and their best friend has discovered Zoom. Zoom has put in extra security measures to make sure people aren't bouncing in unexpectedly where they're not supposed to be. So forgive me for trying to get that a little organized this morning. So I'm diving right in. Like I said, I got a lot to cover. So we are going to go ahead and start with a prayer. And we're going to, oh, there's my cat. We are going to start with a prayer. So we're going to do a very quick prayer for the world, for the planet, because everyone that's come here today is absolutely a light worker. And the whole purpose of all of the work that I do is to bring the light workers together and to help ease this transition, because we are in the age of Aquarius. We are in the golden age is what I refer to it as. And with that said, it's really important to remember that we are needed. You're needed right now. Your light is needed. Your vibration is needed. Your love is needed. And as we come together as light workers, you know, we have the power times 10. Each one of us is times 10 as a light worker, as a prayer warrior, compared to just the average Joe walking down the street. So we can impact humanity 10 times more than a person who isn't awakened, a person who isn't on that spiritual path. So our work here absolutely matters. But I will be honest, we are in the minority. And that's why the planet is experiencing such distress right now, because we are in the minority. So we have to double down and work even harder and be even more alert and in that high vibration, because it's, you know, it's not set in stone. Predictions and, you know, psychic forecasts are not set in stone. So it's really important to remember that it can change at any moment, and to also understand psychic predictions on average are 80% accurate. So there's always that 20% that we can affect a change. And I'm a miracle girl, and I know every single one of you on here are miracle makers. And so that's a big reason why I've created this group. So this is definitely group effort, and I really appreciate you showing up here today. I know that things are crazy probably in your house. I know they are in mine. So really appreciate your time today. And so just the format, we're going to do like a 3-minute prayer for humanity, and I'll show a beautiful photo of hugging the earth, and then I will move into psychic predictions. I'll do about 20 minutes, and then we'll move into a quick Q&A, and if you could post your questions in the chat, just makes it quicker for me to be able to answer that. So maybe about 5 or 10 minutes of Q&A, and then I will be doing the healing. So you all signed up for 21 days of healing. Some of you have been here from the beginning. I love you. Um, and if you're just jumping in now, that's okay too. I have a phone number that I don't recognize. So if you could either rename yourself, unmute yourself, or throw it in the chat. The number is, the last four digits are 0331. 0331. Who are you? Okay, I'm just going to count to 3 and then I'm going to need to remove you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, it's Yvonne.
Oh, hey, Yvonne. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm awesome. So excited you could join us here today. Yay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm renaming you. So go ahead and hit that mute button and we'll get rolling.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you. Okay, let's do a quick healing and set that stage. So we're going to, let's see, don't need to, let's see, okay. Okay, just want to do a quick sound check. Could somebody either unmute themselves or type in the chat? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Or do a thumbs up for me. A lot of you aren't on video. Thumbs up. Oh, yay, thank you. Okay, this is my beautiful photo of the world. Isn't that awesome? So I'm going to have you, and we're going to do quiet. So we're going to do 3 minutes of silence. And so I'm going to have you take a nice deep breath and close your eyes. Actually, I'm being guided to do 4 minutes because of the angels. 4 is angel number. So I'm going to have you take a nice deep breath and close your eyes. And rub your hands together to activate that universal life force energy. If you are Reiki tuned, so activate that. If you are attuned in other energy forms, activate that. If you're not attuned, that's fine. You're just tapping into the universal life force energy field right now. And I'm just holding my hands up like this and imagining hugging, the planet, Mother Earth. And what I want you to do is call in your spiritual team. And we're just opening that magical portal of communication, of love, of healing, calling in your spiritual team, your higher self. Archangel Metatron is here, and my whole entourage, Sri Amma Bhagavan, are joining us here this day. And we are just sending healing to the planet. Mother Earth is crying right now. And she needs our love. She needs our light. So sending love to Mother Earth, sending love to humanity, all of those on the planet who are suffering. Sending special blessings to all of those who are essentials in our workforce, especially in our hospitals, the nurses and doctors and staff. And our police force, the firefighters, all of the essentials that are continuing to work. My daughter works in a humane association shelter for animals. All of those essential people that are still out there every day, risking their lives so that our day-to-day operations can still run. And now I want you to imagine your divine whatever that is for you. For me, it's God. Maybe for you, it's a universal life force energy, or maybe creator. And I want you to just imagine that love and healing flowing from the divine into you, out into the world. And I'm going to just do a quick ho'oponopono. Repeat after me. I love you. I'm sorry for your suffering. Please forgive whatever is in me that is creating this pain. Thank you, God, for clearing this suffering, for healing this suffering and restoring peace. Take a nice deep breath. Oh, come back into the room. Awesome. Feeling amazing in every way. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, we are just gonna make sure if I have anybody late, I can get them in. All right, well, let's jump in. So I am going to share some things about what's coming. And let me just get my notes together here. All right. So you have a choice right now. You have a really important choice. As I mentioned, we are in the age of Aquarius. Some say it began in 2012. And the age of Aquarius, the golden age, whatever that is for you, whatever you want to call it, it's happening right now. And so the information, I get my information from several sources. I am a channel for Archangel Metatron, as most of you know. And I also, work with Jesus and Mother Mary and Buddha and Ganesh and Sri Amma Bhagavan. So my information comes from a variety of sources, but also I am attuned to the information that's out there right now. So every time I listen to something, I kind of check in with Metatron and I'm like, okay, does this fit for me or doesn't it? And sometimes it's a yes and sometimes it's a no. So what I'm sharing with you today is a culmination of all of that. And I'm just going to set my timer because I want to make sure I'm very respectful of your time today. We'll start on time and end on time. All right. So we are in this beautiful golden age and we have a choice because right now what's happening is throwing a lot of us into fear. And I admit, I waffle back and forth between the beautiful state and the suffering state, but it's important. I want you to know that it is critical for you to do everything that you can to keep your vibration high. So you have a choice. You can either be in a faith-based frequency or you can be in a fear-based frequency. And if you're like me, you probably kind of bounce back and forth depending on the day and who's around you, right? And so it's really important as light workers, we tend to pick up a lot of the energy around us and the collective consciousness right now. So it's critical that you're meditating every day to ground yourself. Another great way to ground yourself is to go out in nature. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on all that because you people know that if you've been with me and following me for a long time. But it's really important to understand that your frequency, the frequency of your mindset creates your reality. It does. And when I was in India, they talked about the coronavirus every single day. And they said that this is Mother Earth cleansing herself. And so not to be afraid, and that the people that had the high frequency, high vibration would be fine, would be just fine. And your families and the people that you're connected to, they would be just fine. That the coronavirus really is, it's a low vibration. I mean, it's just science, right? So if you're vibrating, if you're vibrating here and the virus is vibrating there, it can't interfere with you. But if somebody is vibrating, down here, then guess who's a perfect match for that virus? So critical to keep that vibration high. And a high vibration also strengthens your immune system. So it makes a lot of sense. So just a quick disclaimer. I am an international psychic medium, a mindset coach, a spiritual healer, a bazillion other things. But I am not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I don't have any medical background or training. I'm not an expert or financial expert. And as I said before, psychics across the board are 80% accurate. And if anybody tells you that they are 100%, run. But just so take this with a grain of salt. I'm not saying this is going to happen 150%. I'm saying this is the possibility for our future. This is what I'm seeing. This is what many others are seeing. And we can affect the change that's happening on our planet. So basically what Metatron showed me this morning was that we're in the golden age, right? And so the golden age is vibrating up here. Most of the people on the planet are vibrating here. So what's going to have to happen in order for the consciousness to come up here and exist with the new reality that the golden age has brought? The sickness and disease. So basically, if you don't rise up here, you're gone. You can't function in a consciousness that you're not vibrating at. It's incredibly uncomfortable. And so that's just the natural order of what's happening right now. And that's okay, because what I'm being shown is a lot of these people are choosing to leave to come back and help us, to come back and really help us move through this beautiful golden age. It's very exciting. Okay, so again, remember, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just letting you know of possibilities that are to come. And I went back and forth on how much to share, what to share, blah, 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 because I do not want to feed fear. Absolutely not. And that's not what this is about. But what I found for myself is I want to be prepared, because I'm sure you're a lot like me. I've known about this stuff for a while. And I've got mentors that I follow and people that I kind of keep tabs on. And they've been talking about this for a while. And it hit, here we are in this pandemic. And how ready am I really? I'm like, okay, not, I suck. So what I was being shown with by Metatron this morning too, is that this is almost like a test run. This is like, all right, people, this is going to get bad again, but this is just kind of a test run to let you know what's coming. So be prepared. So when this comes around again, you're going to be okay, because we're all going to be okay right now. But when it comes around again, we're going to be much more prepared than when it hit us this first time. All right, so let's dive in here. And I'm not gonna look at the chat until I get through what I need to cover, because I don't want to get too distracted. But when we get into questions at the end, I'll go into the chat room. So if you have any questions, you can post them in there. All right, so let's talk about the COVID-19 real quick, because that's what's happening right now. And I was being shown straight away when I got back from India that the COVID-19 will leave as quickly as it came, was what I was hearing from my team. And what I was being shown was like a sweep. It sweeps through the planet. And it was funny because like 3 days after I saw that and was talking about that, President Trump said that on the news. And basically said the same thing, that it will sweep over the planet and then leave. So like once it moves through your town or your state and it's gone, it's gone. Um, I'm not seeing a reoccurrence. I'm not seeing that we need to be afraid of anything more from COVID-19, that it will hit its peak in each area and then it will even out, it'll flatten, and then all of a sudden you'll wake up one day and it'll be gone. And there'll be no more new cases reported. So it will leave as quickly as it came. And so, okay. Oh, by the end of September, by the end of summer is kind of what I was seeing is we'll be 100%. We'll be back at full capacity, running up and running at 100%. The financial market, everything will get back up on top, and you know, closing out the year, we will all close the year out strong. So that bouncing back is what I'm being shown. There will be a very quick recovery and we'll bounce back. And then I see just a period of about 5 years where we'll be in this, you know, stronger economy. But, you know, during the 5 years, there'll be some up and down, some different things that are happening, waves of different things. And then in about 2025, maybe later, we'll get hit with another pandemic. And then this time it will be even harder than it was the first time. So that's good news, because this one isn't the one. This isn't the one. This one is kind of a test run so that we can be prepared when it happens again, that it will be much smoother, much easier for us to move through it. And again, this is all about being prepared. And we have a possibility to change that. This isn't set in stone, but right now, as things are unfolding, this is kind of where we're at. And all right, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time with the theory of where COVID-19 came. I mean, there's speculation. I mean, the news tells us that Wuhan, it was a wet market, that they eat, you know, captured bats and ate them, and that's how they got the COVID, that virus. Some say that the conspiracy theorists believe that it was unleashed as a measure for population control in our country. And some, you know, my belief system is that Mother Nature is cleansing herself. And like I said, that's what India told us. That sits the best with me. And I feel like it's a combination. There's a combination of different things going on. But the golden age is here. There's nothing we can do to stop the golden age from coming. It's here. And now it's all about everything falling into alignment with this higher energy. So that means more integrity, more transparency. The corruption is going to clear out, because the corruption can't exist within the new dimension, within this new frequency. And so in order to take the corruption down, you know, there's going to need to be chaos and disruption, radical disruption. When you look at the Age of Aquarius and the water planet, the Age of Aquarius is all about a radical disruption. It's about creating order from chaos. So when we think of 911, it's kind of what the planet needs to do to really shift us into the golden age of peace and community and oneness. So if you could see what I see, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal, amazing, amazing as we move through. And this is going to last about 10 years. Like I said, in 5 years, it's going to get, there'll be another wave, very challenging. But as we move through that and then come out on the other end, if you will, it's like a birth, except instead of 9 months, it's 9 years. when we come out on the other end of that, it's going to be an amazing society. Much love, much healing. There won't be sickness. Yeah, it'll be phenomenal. And then, why is this happening? We talk about all of the corruption and all of the things that are hurting the planet, the things that are hurting Mother Earth. And she's just trying to protect herself. She can live without us, but we can't live without her. So she's just trying to cleanse herself and declutter, if you will. Let's see. Still time to make changes. The other thing I was being shown, as we evolve and shift with this energy that's moving through right now, it reminds me of when my husband broke his neck. And I'm sure you've all had this experience somewhere in your life where spirit has given you a direction. Quit your job, or leave that marriage, or marry that man. Spirit has given you a direction, and you have ignored it, and you have hid and said no. And this happened with my husband. He worked in a factory, and he literally was dying. It was horrible. He had high, his health was suffering. People at work were having heart attacks or getting cancer because the conditions were so bad. And I begged him to leave that job and go back to school or do anything. I didn't care. But he was trapped. He was caught in money. The money and the insurance. I can't quit. I wouldn't have insurance. And I said, insurance isn't going to matter if you're dead. And then he broke his neck and literally almost died. And so that's what I was being shown with the golden age. So we can either move into this transition easily, or we can move kicking and screaming. It's going to happen one way or another. And it's our choice if we make it easy or if we make it hard. And that goes back into having a faith-based frequency versus a fear-based frequency. Your mindset is critical. Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about the financial collapse. So the stock market, we all know, is very, very unsteady. And it's going to recover at the end of summer. But it's going to crash a couple more times, and it's going to crash to the degree where we actually move to a completely different exchange system. And so this is kind of like the last warning of getting your money out while the getting's good. And so waiting until it gets back up to where it was, and then that would be a great time to get your money out. And right now, across the board, it's gold and silver, investing in gold and silver, and having that in your hand, not in a bank or not in investments, but actually having it in your hand. So what I'm being shown is that instead of having savings in a savings account, that it's better to buy actual gold and silver coins and put your savings into that gold and silver, because there's going to be a transitional period when we shift the cash system. So we'll be shifting out of dollars into possibly cryptocurrency. I am seeing a couple different shifts before we actually find one that works. But the thing with the gold and silver, you'll be able to get a better exchange than if you've got cash or other means. So I don't see us like using gold and silver as a means of exchange. I see it more as like a savings, if you will, if that makes sense at all. So we've got a couple years to try to get all our ducks in a row in that area. But don't be fooled when the economy comes back up at the end of the summer. It's not permanent, that there's going to be a lot of instability with the economy. And that rolls back into the plain and simple fact that the Federal Reserve is corrupt. How the inequity in financial prosperity in the world is a travesty in my mind. And well, and I'm being shown by my guides. They're like, what are you people doing? That's never going to survive in the golden age. So it's trying to right itself. So on a good note, because of that financial collapse, I am seeing that your mortgages will be zeroed out, your debt will be zeroed out to a certain level, about 10,000 student loans will be zeroed out, because there's been such corruption and because there's just no way to get back to where we were. People or the government, the banks, whatever, they're going to have to reset. It's called a reset. And so it's a financial reset, and it's going to put us all more on a level playing field. And then we'll be able to build and come back from that point. All right, so let's see, anything else I want to jump into quick? All right, and oh, okay. So when the second pandemic comes around in about 5 years, maybe 7, what would prolong that is the consciousness. So the higher the consciousness, the easier this transition is, if you will. And so when the next pandemic comes, it will create a huge, a massive shift, because there'll be shortages. There'll be gas shortages, food shortages, housing shortages, job shortages. I mean, the shortage is like the key word. But it's the natural evolution, because things are moving into more of sustainable resources. So the geothermal and the solar panels, and using wood to burn, and things are going to be more natural, more organic, more earth-based, that aren't hurting the environment, that are helping the environment. So what to do? Oh, and the one thing I really wanted to mention is there's 5D communities that will start popping up all over. And I see these as pods. And I've talked, if you're in my mentorship program, my spiritual mentorship program, I've talked about this before with many of you, because I see many of you as a source of that. And so there'll be these little pods popping up all over the United States, and they're 5-dimensional communities. So and I'm calling in a 5-dimensional community with all of you people here. But it will be to support each other and to help each other with this vibration and with this frequency. And there'll be a barter system and an exchange system. And we'll be getting back, back to the basics of things, but also there'll be huge advances, because I am seeing technology continues to advance. So that's one thing that a lot of people, a lot of spiritual people are saying is iffy right now. If we keep that consciousness level at a certain frequency, we'll be able to sustain the technology and create a technology evolution. If we aren't, that'll all crash and burn, and we'll be back to the caveman ages. But I'm not seeing that. I am seeing that there'll be an explosion in technology similar to what we're seeing right now, because people will be more isolated because of the gas shortages and not being limited with their movement, and that they'll be reaching out, connecting more, being creative with their connections, through technology. Okay, so we're going to be more self-sufficient as we move into the golden age. And I know some of these things sound scary, but again, this isn't to invoke fear. This is to actually help you align with faith that you were born for this. You came for this. You're a light worker. If you're here on this call with me right now, whether you know it or not, you are absolutely a light worker. And you were made for this. And you are going to thrive during this time. So what I've been shown is that the people, here, let me do this. There we go. The people that are faith-based are going to thrive. They will be inspired. They will be given creative solutions to things. The people that are fear-based are going to wither. It's going to be super tough for them because they're not going to be connected with their spiritual team, and your spiritual team is guiding you. You are going to be given instructions: move here, do this, go there, meet with that person, connect with that opportunity. Your spiritual team is guiding you step by step. So understand and trust, that intuition, and really, really allow yourself to expand on that. So what can you do when we talk about being a light worker? It's about being self-sufficient, reducing your meat intake, buying organic or fresh, eating clean, stop using toxic chemicals, and meditate regularly. Ground yourself to deepen your connection with your divine, because your divine is what's going to get you through this period. And, when we talk about things to prepare, move where you're guided to move in the next couple years. You really kind of want to be situated, and then hunker down is what I'm being shown. And, try to get yourself a 1-year food supply. And, don't forget those dry products as well. And then convert that savings. Instead of savings in a bank, think about savings, investing in gold and silver that you actually have in physical form. You might want to look at purchasing a gun or some ammunition for safety precaution. There's crazy times right now. I mean, I watch 2020. I'm sure you do too. It's crazy out there. Put together a go bag and have it in your trunk in case your car gets stranded. Well, you should do that anyway, right? In case you get stranded someplace, or you need to leave your home in a quick manner. And, they are recommending to buy an all-electric car because there is a big question about the availability for gas. People who have an all-electric car will not have any problems with transportation or getting around. Investing in solar panels, again, going back into being self-sufficient. Join a tribe or community and be active, be engaged. Pray for world peace every single day. Also, it's really important to have some cash on hand. I mean, anywhere from 2,000 to 10,000. Last year in Florida, I forget what happened. There was a power outage or something, and you couldn't get money out of the banks. The cash machines shut down. You couldn't buy gas or buy anything unless you had cash in your pocket. So, I mean, that is just a really simple example of something that just happened recently. So it's a good reason to, just because, have some cash on hand. And then I am being shown to limit the amount of money that you have in a bank to have it more accessible for yourself. All right. Okay, we're at our time. I'm going to just take a couple questions, and let me get back over here. We're going to do that. All right, I'm going to go into our chat. There is our chat. Excellent. And take a look at our questions here. Okay. Yeah, Isaac pointed out Sylvia Brown. She has got an awesome book, End of Times 2025. I read it like 10 years ago. I really need to go back and read that again because so many things she's talked about have come true. The second pandemic, Stacy, I'm seeing in about 5 years. Yeah, Isaac said, Sylvia says 2030, so 5 to 10 years. That feels good too. Yeah, because I'm seeing that with all of the raising that consciousness level, we could actually push that out a little bit further. But definitely some rumblings in 2025. Do you see everyone receiving a universal basic income with that financial reset? I see more of an, the wealthy people are going to get hit the hardest. And the poor people, like I said, I see instead of this, I see this. And that it's more a fair exchange. and less opportunities for corruption within the system. Foreign currency, I'd be cautious of foreign currency because everybody's going to have their own experience, and there are probably a couple countries that they won't even have a financial collapse because their government or their financial reserve, whatever they call it, is not corrupt. So it's the places that are corrupt that are going to see the biggest crash. All right, and Renee says, yay, faith over fear. Love that. Yeah, that would be a great shirt, wouldn't it? A great t-shirt. I dreamed last night exactly the words about the virus swooping out as fast as it came in and sooner than everyone thinks. Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's go ahead and roll into the healing. Now, this is the healing that I'm going to be doing. I've been doing it every day for the last, since before I went to India. I'm doing it a little different now that I got back from India, because I was actually initiated as a Diksha into this Diksha, which is a special sacred transmission. And so how Diksha, the transmission of Diksha, and what I explained real quickly, I've been trained in so many different healing techniques, it's insane. And I am a Reiki master teacher, and I love Reiki. It's amazing. So what I have found is that each time I add a new technique to my toolbox, that the energy just keeps getting stronger and more powerful. And so it's really, really exciting to work with this amazing energy. So whatever, the universal life force energy, when you tune in and tap into that, whether that's Reiki for you or the Diksha that I work with, as well as the Reiki, or when you rub your hands together, you're activating that. So the Diksha that I work with from India specifically helps to boost that immune system, increases happiness and joy, calms your mind, opens love in your heart, shifts healing in your body, and helps to heal relationships. So specifically, that Diksha awakens you to a sacred dimension in your consciousness, and each of you will have your own personal experience with your divine as we move through this energy. So for me, it's a culmination, a combination of Reiki and this Diksha, and essentially it all comes from God. That for me, that's my divine, is God. So I start by taking some deep breaths, and then I sing the Ekam mantra, Hamsa Soham Ekam, 11 times. And while that's happening, what I'm envisioning is God, and my whole spiritual team is around me. And God is actually pouring this gold liquid into my crown chakra. And it moves down my whole body. And I just I turn into this beautiful liquid. And it's a chakra center. It's the crystalline chakra center. So it's a merging of all the chakras together, and it becomes this beautiful crystalline chakra. And you just really turn into this light. So I turn into this light, right? Okay. So then what happens is I've got your name on a note card. I've got everybody's name on the note card. And so as I go to each person, I place my hand. I imagine, so in the video, I'm going to share the video in a second. And this is where I was. This is Akam. And so I love this video. It's so cool because it opens the doors, and so what I see is we all walk through the doors, just like I did when I was there. Every single day we went to Akam and had these special processes and meditations. And we walked through the doors, and then we went around in a circle around the golden orb. And so the golden orb is basically higher universal intelligence. And, I'm Catholic. So in my religion, we have the cross. So they were looking for something that was universal, that it's not religion, it's not religious based at all. but something that would hold the energy, would hold that power. So they use this golden orb. And if you traveled with me to India, I sent you a picture of it. It's so cool. But it's in this video, so don't worry. And we would all, walk around the golden orb. So what I envision is the tribe of us walking through into the doors, walking around, surrounding the golden orb. And then I'm in the center and I move through each person that's on my card. And you bow your head like this, with your prayer hands. And then I take the palms of my hand and I beam them over your head. And I can see God, divine, with that golden energy, the golden liquid, move through me, out my hands into your head. And this golden liquid is moving into your head through your whole body. And then what I see is it's like a Teflon coating. And then they do this spiral. They bring the spiral up around you. And then, before they do the spiral, they spread it out into everybody you're connected to. It's called your soul circle. They spread this healing into everybody you're connected to. And then they do the spiral. Okay. So I do that for each one of you every single day. And if you've been with me since before India, you have been getting this every day. It's so powerful. And Metatron was showing me that as I explain this and we do it all together and you understand what I'm doing, what you're receiving every day at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, it will actually make it more powerful for you. So I see our time's running short, so we're going to do 7 minutes. I always do 14 minutes. And I typically do the mantra for each one of you. So Hamsa Soham Ekam, when they say that in the song, I'm standing there beaming this into your head as they say that mantra. And then when they repeat it, I'm moving on to the next person and I go through the entire circle of everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share and we're going to listen to that for 7 minutes. And then I'll come back and we'll do just a very, very quick closing. I think I've covered everything. We did the healing for the planet at the beginning. Okay. Oh, I'll do an open eye transmission, which is very, very powerful. So at the end, we'll come back here and I will open my eyes. And for 3 minutes, I'm going to just invite you to gaze into my eyes and receive a beautiful blessing, a beautiful transmission of healing. Okay, are we ready? I'm so excited. Okay, here we go. Let me get my screen share rolling. Oh, hold on, this isn't a jump to a different one. Okay, we're gonna take a deep breath. There's several of the mantras, but I like the one that does 108, and it's a long one. There we go. So this is the one that I will send to you every morning when I start it. So I'm going to have you just take a nice deep breath and I'll have you keep your eyes open to watch the video. And then I'll tell you when to close it when we get to the golden orb. He comes. Go ahead and place your hands on your heart. And you can chant the mantra with us. And now go ahead and close your eyes. And I'll have you bow your head.
Hum sa so hum he hum sa so hum he hum sa.
All right, take a nice deep breath. Come back into the room, feeling amazing in every way. All right, everyone, I'm so blessed and honored that you could join me here today, and I am delighted to do this healing for you. It is so powerful, and every month as I continue, it gets stronger and stronger. It is really fantastic. And so all you need to do when I post that in our messenger group is when you see it come through at whatever time, you don't have to join us at 7, that's fine. If you can, that's great. Whenever you see it come through, hit that emoji button. I've got the prayer hands as our symbol for the group. So just hit that, the prayer hands emoji, to let me know that you've seen that and it's been activated. So when you hit it, it activates it for you. So be sure to do that every single day. And if you want to make it even more powerful, listen to that mantra. And like I said, there's a million on there, but I'll send you the link to this one. This one's my favorite, for 7 minutes. Just, you know, you can have it playing while you're doing laundry or meditating or whatever. But you don't have to listen to the whole thing. It's a chant. It's 100, they chant it 108 times. It's pretty long. But I usually have it playing in the background while I'm getting ready in the morning after I do the 14 minutes for everybody. But the 7 minutes for each of you will just make it more powerful. And if you want to do it the entire 108, that's like golden. But you don't have to. Those are all optional. The only thing I do request is that you pop that emoji in there when you see that blessing come through for you. All right, now I can stay on an extra 5 or 10 minutes if anybody has any questions about the forecast, the predictions that I just shared. But one last thing before you jump off, before I let you go, is there is a special, an incredibly sacred event coming on Monday from India, Sri Amma Bhagavan. Like, these are avatars from India. I got to sit in darshan with them twice. Like, I was like feet away from Bhagavan on the second time. It was so amazing. And his energy, it's like sitting with Jesus. I mean, that's how I felt, that it was that profound, that incredible. He's enlightened. And his son, Krishnaji, and his son's wife, Preetaji, they are all coming together Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. They don't usually record any of these things, so you really have to jump in there live to catch it. And I am hosting a special group, so I'm doing it similar to what I do with the full moon. So I will give you my ID number. If you've got a Zoom account, it's my personal ID number. I will have to put a password on that. It's 82 4 times. So 828-282-8282. That's the ID to get in there. And then I'll send you the password. Will probably just be the date for 12/20. But I'll send the link for that if you want to join us. It's going to be incredibly powerful. It's a healing just like what I did for you today. It's a Diksha healing. And all the Diksha givers around the planet, in India, everywhere, are coming together on that day to share this with the world. It's going to be a global healing. And so I will send you information for that if you want to join us for that. Otherwise, thank you. Mwah! Blessings to everyone. Much love. Be safe and be well. And again, I'm going to stay on for an extra 5 or 10 minutes. If you need to jump off, go right ahead. I will jump in the chat room. You can also unmute yourself if you've got questions. I'm going to set my timer. I'll stay on for 11 minutes. And let me just check to make sure I don't have anybody that popped out and wants to come back in. Okay, I left the phone call so that I could join through Zoom. Now can't get back in. Ah, sorry. All right, sorry, Yvonne. Okay, thank you, awesome. We're going to do that I think. The I think, yes, thank you, Isaac. All right, so take a nice deep breath. And I'm gonna set the timer, we'll do 3 minutes. The energy is really intense right now. I can feel it. All right, so I'm going to invite you to gaze into my eyes and receive a special direct connection of this beautiful sacred Diksha energy. Take a nice deep breath and close your eyes to the count of 7. Take 3 deep breaths. And just absorbing that healing on the deepest level of your being. Opening up, creating a stronger and deeper connection with your divine, God, universal life force energy. And take one last deep breath and come back into the room. Oh, that was so amazing. Okay, I'm just going to check the chat room to see if there were any other questions. All right, and if you want to unmute yourself, Alicia is asking, and I'm just going to go 7 minutes here. Alicia is asking, do you see any alien assistance during Mother Earth? I have heard a lot about this. Oh, absolutely. The Pleiadians, like they're here with us right now. And they're the team that I'm working with. And so I feel them so strongly every single day. They are definitely helping these 5D communities, these little pods that are popping up everywhere. They are definitely guided, and they're just showing me as well that if you've joined us here as part of that 21 healing, whether you're catching the replay or joining us live, that they are actually working with you as well, helping to develop these 5D communities, or helping you to get in touch with these 5D communities. So sacred and such a beautiful blessing here for all of us. And I'm going to turn that down. Let's see. Thank you so much. Any other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself if you'd like to ask me. Ask me in real time. All right. Debbie says, many thanks. Thank you for joining us, Debbie. Mwah. All right, Isaac, how do you stay more grounded if you're too sensitive to higher frequencies? Yeah, the meditating, getting outside, the fresh air and sunshine are the #1 ways to ground yourself. And if you can't get outside, open your window and sit in the sun by your window. But getting outside every single day is really essential. And I find that for myself, because I do yoga, I alternate. And like today, I haven't gotten outside in a couple of days. I need to just get outside. So as much as you can do that, that will help you stay grounded. And the meditation, I've got loads of meditations in our inner circle group. I would love to invite all of you to join our inner circle if you haven't. The first month is free, so you can kind of check that out. But staying connected, finding these communities, staying connected and engaged will also help you as we move into higher frequencies. Great question, Isaac. All right. Stacy, all you put was I thing. I'm not sure if you had a question on that one. Oh, probably to remind me. Okay, let's see. How can I best connect with my team? Runhild, yeah, through that daily meditation. Like I said, every single day I sit for an hour and I communicate with my team. I pray. I do that healing for everybody. So just being consistent and being regular. Also, I'm a huge fan of the oracle cards. So get yourself an oracle deck. That's how I started. That's where my connection with my spiritual team began, was with oracle decks. I grabbed angel deck. My favorite one is Doreen Virtue's angel. This is a great one for beginners, messages from your angels. But there's a lot of really great ones. The next one on my list to get is a shaman deck. But that actually helps you with your connection, because what I've found, I do readings for many of you, is that when I work with the cards, it opens up a portal, and it's like my spiritual team is talking to me directly. Your team talks to me directly. Through me, your team talks to me, and I share those messages with you. So if you have a hard time with that, I highly recommend the spiritual mentorship program. I do have one opening right now, just one. Okay, how can I best, let's see, love the oracle cards, Jean. How do we call Metatron during our meditation? Just like I did, just like I do. I just ask Metatron. A lot of times, like if I'm really in need, I'll say 911. Angels 911, Metatron, where are you? I need you right now. So just talk to them like you would a dear friend. That is the best way. And another great way is to get a physical statue or a picture. I'll share my Metatron statue. I brought it back from Brazil. It is phenomenal and life-changing. Hold on. Here's Metatron. I was in a shop in Brazil, and my psychic friend Sally was with me, and I saw him sitting on a shelf, and I grabbed her. I said, "Oh my God, there's Metatron!" And she's like, "Oh my God, you gotta buy him!" I'm like, "No, no, I don't have room in my luggage. I'll get him next time." And she made me buy him. She's like, "I will give you money to buy him. He needs to go home with you right now." Thank goodness I listened to her, because I never went back to Brazil. That was my last trip. Now I'm an India girl. But this is Metatron. And when I brought him home and set him up in my room, my office, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. The energy, and my channeling was stronger. My connection with my team was stronger. So, I mean, I've got a statue of Ganesh, of Buddha, of Mother Mary. I mean, if you can't get the statue, get the photo, right? Okay, I'm going to set him down. Great question, Isaac. Oh, yeah. All right, let's see. Love and light. Okay, we're good. All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Blessings to you all. Mwah! Bye.